Today's data science interview question is by Facebook. It's called SMS Confirmations by Facebook. Today's question is called SMS Confirmations by Facebook. It's obviously by Facebook. The question reads, find the number of phone numbers that were sent a confirmation text on August 7th, 2020. Split the counts first by country and then split again by carrier. Sort by country code in ascending order. All right, so the first thing we want to do is just take a look at the underlying data. All right, here's a preview of the table. I have the date field, the country, the carrier, the phone number, and then the type. So what we're looking for are dates by August 7th, 2020. We're gonna look at type equals confirmation and then basically ignore the rest. And then we're going to be grouping by country and carrier and then counting the phone numbers. All right, so with that understanding of the data, let's write out our approach before we start coding. Okay, so taking a look at this question again, it says find the number of phone numbers that were sent a confirmation text on August 7th, 2020. So what I want to do first is filter out this table to get to the data that we need, which is essentially August 7th. So a date which says August 7th, 2020, and then a confirmation text, so type equals confirmation. So to filter for the data we want, we're going to use a where clause. So where ds equals August 7th, 2020, and type equals confirmation here. So once I have that, what I want to do then is group by carrier and then also group by country. But the first thing I want to do is actually flag these different carriers here. So I'm going to be implementing a case when to do that. Case when carrier equals AT&T. Also there's Sprint and there's Rogers. If I wanted to just double check to see how many carriers there are to group by, what I can do is just do a select distinct carrier. And if I look at that, it looks like there are only 3 carriers. So I've already captured them all here. So what I want to do after the case when is apply a count. So I'm just going to write that out here actually, count here. Once I have the account, I want to group by country, and then I'll group by the carrier. And the last thing is to order by country code in ascending order. So now that I have the approach written down, I'm ready to start coding. All right, so the first thing I want to do is step number 1 here, where I'm filtering for the date and the type of text. So what I'm going to do is implement a where clause where ds is equal to August 7th, 2020, and the type equals confirmation. Just to ensure that I have this written out correctly, what I'm going to do now is just run the query. Looks like my query is correct. I basically have 3 rows for these dates as well as the correct type. So now in order to group by carrier here, I'm going to be using a case when. So that's going to look like this. Case when carrier is equal to AT&T, then add the phone number. Otherwise, don't add anything and end. And maybe I'll just name this AT&T. Then case when carrier equals Sprint, then add the phone number. Otherwise, don't add anything, add a null instead, save it as Sprint. And then the same thing to close it all off, carrier is equal to Rogers. Then add that phone number, else null, and as Rogers, right? I haven't implemented the count yet, but just to take a look to see if this query will work, I do have exactly this. I have phone numbers where we match the case and nulls where it doesn't match the case. All right, so now let's just add counts so that we can, instead of a phone number, we have a number of times this actually appears. So that's pretty easy. It's just a count, and then you close off the parentheses at the end there. So the next question is really whether or not I want to add a distinct here. Do I want to count distinct phone numbers? When you take a look at the question again, find the number of phone numbers that were sent a confirmation SMS text. So the business context to me is really find the number of phone numbers where they were sent a confirmation text. To me, a user could log in through multiple devices and be sent multiple confirmation texts. And I want to count all of that, right? So in that case, in that business scenario, we are not going to be adding a distinct because we just want to count all phone numbers, even if there are multiples. So I'm not going to add a distinct here, and I'm going to now just run this code just to see if it outputs something, and it does. We have a count for each carrier. What I want to do next is now just add the country, right? And if I add the country here, I need to then add a group by country. I'll probably need to add a carrier in the group by as well, and then I can order by country in ascending order. All right, so let's just run this. I have the counts by carrier by country, and then this is also ordered by country in ascending order. And if I check the solution, I have it correct.